Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button as well as the like button and check today's topics in the description box as well as the comments. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been great, dude. It feels like we haven't done this for ages, even though we have, but I'm definitely grateful for our first episode, like getting back into the more talking points. We'll get into the interviews and stuff we've been doing over the past couple weeks, but I'm doing great, dude. Yeah, like it's so underestimated, like the whole like daylight savings thing. Like, dude, having the sun out till 7 p.m. is just the most amazing thing in the world. Like,
yeah, it really is. I think they're actually they've been trying to, but I think as time goes on, they're trying to change it so that it's just a year-round thing.
I think that bill like is trying to get passed, but it's wild how many people are against it. I'm like, bro, you like fucking again? Maybe I'm like confused, but like, you like it getting darker earlier? Like, isn't it like the most depressing time of the year when it's like dark? You leave work and it's just pitch black. You're like, oh, my life is pretty much a fucking mouse. Like, do it again. Like, fuck.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if we're just creatures of habit and people don't like change or what it is, but also some people might just be misinformed. They think like if it's like this all the time, we'll never get that one opportunity to get an hour extra sleep or some shit, like as if it really does that much for us in the first place.
Yeah. But yeah, man, life is good, man. Knock on wood, can't complain. But how about you, bro? It's been exactly almost 3 weeks since the wedding. That was our last episode almost a month ago. So let the people know about how the wedding felt, how you feel now post officially being done with the like that part of it. Like, how are things going on your end?
Yeah, the wedding itself was amazing. I think it was just great to see, all our friends in one place, friends and family in one place. And a lot of the stuff we didn't, outside of like the wedding itself, we didn't really plan in advance, like what bars we were going to and stuff. Right. And as you know, like the rooftop bar was super dope. And leading up to the wedding, of course, there was disappointments here and there, people dropping out at the last minute or flights getting delayed or missing flights and stuff. And obviously that adds a lot of stress because you're like, oh shit, is this person going to make it? Like, we had to do rehearsals for the wedding in advance. We couldn't check until the day of. So a lot of unknowns going into it, but fortunately everything worked out as planned. The footage was amazing. I can't wait to get the rest of it so I can finally post like all the expensive shit that we paid for. I'll be damned if I don't post it somewhere.
Dude, that's funny you say that, dude, because I know you like your wife shared like the little clip. I'm like, there's no way this is it though, bro. Like there has to be more, bro, because like this shit was too expensive for just like that.
Exactly. So I was gonna post that clip too, like this weekend, but then I was like, should I just wait for all of it to come through and do it once and then post a couple things on my story? I'll probably do that. I mean, it's not like the footage is going anywhere. So
for sure.
Yeah.
But it's funny. I had that thought. I'm like, bro, like I know for a fact, like there's no way we flew to San Miguel for this little 10-second TikTok of this fucking wedding. Like,
exactly. And it takes like understandably several months for them to go through all that, edit it, make it look good. So I'm gonna be patient. It's only been barely a month since the wedding. And those guys have a shit.
Yeah, and like that woman, just like, dude, like if I ever get married, I would hire her to fly. Like that girl like your photographer was amazing to make it like super casual. Because obviously it's pictures. You're forcing people who've never modeled to like, hey, model for me. And it's just like, so I think she made like everyone feel pretty confident. She was great.
Yeah, for sure. And it's always awkward too, I think, after the fact when you post this wedding stuff, because even my wife had like a friend she hadn't talked to in like 15 years, like you didn't invite me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Sarah's like, we literally haven't said a word to each other in like 15 years. Why? Like, this was an intimate thing. And I kind of thought about that myself. Like after the fact, I was like, oh shit, maybe I should have invited this person. But like, we also don't have like conversations ever outside of like Instagram. So that begs the question, like, should I even feel guilty about it? Like, if we don't have those deep conversations. Granted, there are like friends that I don't have conversations with on a daily or even weekly basis.
But those probably have like a way deeper like foundation.
Yeah.
So it's different, bro. Like I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think that's the only like weird aspect about weddings is it can create a lot of tension, especially with people like there shouldn't be tension with.
Yeah.
And it's an important moment, but a lot of people interpret it in different ways, especially if you've been invited to their wedding and you didn't invite them to theirs. Like there was an instance of that with my old boss. I'm not sure if he cares or gives a shit, but I'm sure. I don't know. At this point, I'm just like, I can't please everyone.
No, you can't, dude. You can't, bro. And I would just, that's funny because you said, I was literally having this song. It's getting my mind wanders, and I keep going to a wedding like almost every month, it feels like. So you start wondering about your own. Like, I've definitely been invited to like 3 weddings over the past 2 years where I'm like, I probably shouldn't have been invited, but I went, you know what I mean? No, actually, I didn't go. I take that back. I didn't go to the wedding, but I was invited. So I'm like, do you think you're gonna get an invite too? Because like I was surprised when you invited me because we're not close. You know what I mean? So like I don't know, like I feel like I'm gonna do like what you guys do. Like I'm only inviting people who like I literally like, yo, either you're super close to me, you're super close to my girl, or like you've been impactful in my life. But just because like, you know, we happen to be close for 2 weeks out of like our entire lives, and you happen to invite me because you were feeling lovey, like bro, come on, like. I feel like I can't afford your plate, bro. Like it's not like it doesn't work in the budget.
Right. But now that it's all over, like I feel like a weight has lifted off.
Nice.
And we can just kind of breathe and relax. Honeymoon stuff, we're not even thinking about that this year, probably next year.
Nice.
We just don't want to rush that because we have several other weddings and stuff this year too. So it'd just be too crazy trying to cram everything in.
Yeah, I feel like you have to do it. It's like we have to do it this year. Like you have your whole life, hopefully, like to knock that out. So next year's a nice goal. Dude, what's been going with me since the wedding, bro? So the wedding was phenomenal for me again. And shout out to Blair and Sarah for choosing me to be their officiant.
Phenomenal job with that too.
Thank you, bro. It was a fucking honor. I got super emotional for multiple reasons, but it was definitely nice that it went smoothly and everyone was happy for the, like, I mean, all the feedback I got was like positive. So that was great. That was a great moment, dude. For me, I get an amazing honor. But dude, I think what the best part about the wedding, honestly, was besides like you two just, being so happy, like seeing you emotional was phenomenal to see for like the first time. But I think it was like just a group. Like, I think those first 2 nights, everyone listen, we were in Mexico for 3 like full nights. It's like the majority of the wedding party. Like those first 2 nights and everyone getting to bond, like, because again, like even though we all kind of met at some point along your relationship, like it was never like that. Like, yo, it's gonna be 6 hours of just us fucking drinking and talking and everything. So the fact that we did that 2 nights in a row and it wasn't like ever awkward, like that I think helped like the overall, like the wedding itself be an absolute vibe from the moment, as opposed to like, all right, they'll get drunk eventually and they'll start talking to each, like none of that, bro. Like the moment the dance floor opened up, everyone was already vibing because it was already clear we were all friends. So like that was probably the most like impressive part for me and Gina. Gina never met any of you guys besides you, like never met anyone else before. And dude, she left with like so many friends that, that she at least felt friendly with. So the fact that was able to happen in such a short amount of time was like pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I have to give credit to everyone like coming out and stuff, because Friday, I mean, I didn't know if anyone was going to show up Friday night, really. Obviously a big turnout. And then Saturday, another thing, everyone's arriving that day. I'm like, they're probably going to be too tired. They want to rest for the wedding. And then that ended up being a dope experience. And other people mentioned that too. Like the wedding was the wedding itself, the event was extra fun because they had met several individuals that night or even 2 nights before. And it just made them feel more comfortable, even though a lot of the people that attended didn't necessarily know each other before the event.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Your girl's Milena, like her friend, like the friend she was with the whole time, assumed that you guys had known Gina for like years. So like she was like, "What do you mean you just met them?" She's like, "Yeah, I just met them."
Right. Yeah.
So that was cool, man. It was a phenomenal time. I highly recommend San Miguel to any couple. Like, dude, like that's an extremely romantic city just to be a part of. So like once we were there, I'm like, oh, this makes sense. But when we went to your venue, bro, I was like, holy shit! Like this is so like. I remember I kept comparing it to like the Rock Nation brunch, but I'm like, nah, bro, this is way better. You know what I mean? Like, this is just visually like way better. So like, yeah, like, dude, kudos to you guys, especially doing all that shit online and never having visited yourself. Like, dude, phenomenal job.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, wedding in the book. So obviously exciting things for both of us, hopefully in the future. Since then, we've knocked out a couple interviews, which is exciting. Two up and coming artists. We have a strong hold on the Canadian demographic. So we interviewed Matt Young Canadian rapper out of Canada, now Montreal. And then we interviewed MC by the name of Bars yesterday. What we posted today, actually. He's in Charlotte. So your thoughts, recapping those two experiences.
Yeah, I thought they were really dope. One of the few guys that we've spoken to who have essentially been doing it full time. I think Bars has like a side gig as well now.
Yeah.
But both of them have experience with doing music full time, which I think is pretty rare, especially at their young age, and still trying to make it. Like they're clearly have been in positions where they were making enough to pursue their dreams full time, which I think is super impressive, and just made this seem more this career path seem more realistic than I may have thought before. I feel like a lot of times we assume, if you're not on if you're not signed to a major label and have flashy cars and stuff, then it's virtually impossible. But we never really get insight into those guys who are like writing songs behind the scenes or touring full time with a band and stuff like that, which is obviously a huge part of the industry. And both super humble dudes who clearly love the music. They're not like, SoundCloud rappers who, woke up overnight and wanted to be cool and, make a few songs.
Yeah, went viral and then they have like a whole career. Yeah.
And they've been in it for a long time.
What was wild though, what like the constant theme I thought at least those two were, I guess that corny saying, like, it's like, it makes sense. Like, if you stay down for like a year, like the upside could be wild, right? Because they both express like, I got a cheap place. I cut all my costs. Like, you have to be okay with like leaving a lot of the material stuff that we're accustomed to if you really want to make this full time, right? Because you're going to put all whatever money you have into your craft. You're not going to have, money for the trip to San Miguel or money for, hey, let's just go to Vegas for the weekend, right? So it's impressive that they're willing to sacrifice, that kind of stuff because they really want to make their career happen, right? Like that was impressive because I feel like a lot of people, I'll speak for myself, I feel like you can relate. It's like, you're at a certain age, like, I like nice things. Like I should be able to like nice things and obtain nice things, but then also have a side hustle that I'm trying my hardest to make it work. So it was impressive that they're willing to like, I'm just going to do this full fucking time. This is the only hustle. And I'm going to make sure whatever money I earn is just being reinvested. Like that was cool.
Yeah. And especially at their age too. And I know we said to both of them, like they're still super young, but like, I think what makes it tough is if you're in your late 20s or whatever, and you look around and your friends have kids and houses and seem happy, and you're over here in like a studio apartment with the bare minimum trying to make it, I could see how that would really fuck with your confidence or like just make you question whether or not you're doing the right thing, even if you do love it, because you're looking around and you feel like your life is passing before your eyes. But I feel like if you really care about something, like you don't have a choice but to sacrifice in the short term, at least.
Yeah. Because I feel like it is always short term, but I feel like people are afraid. Because I remember like my like most like times where I evolved and man it like and glowed up the most. I was probably down for like 6 months, but then that led me to like advance my career tremendously. I'm like, oh dude, if I did this all the time, but I'm like, well, that's exhausting. Like I don't want to do this all the time.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But shout out to them, man. I feel like I'm grateful that there were two examples of people who listened to the pod, either the playlist or other interviews, and just reached out. And I'm glad that we were able to make them work out. Because then you get nervous, like a bunch of people reach out, but are you really a fan of the music? So those are two artists that not only had a great story, but I feel like their music also is something that we would honestly bump all the time. So that was also a nice thing to also enjoy. For sure.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've been in positions where we haven't had to like turn down a ton of artists who we felt like weren't serious about their craft or whatever the case is. Like 9 times out of 10 we've listened and thought the person was super dope and had a dope story and was coming to us because they generally wanted to have a conversation. It wasn't just like, oh, let me get a few views and reposts here and there.
Yeah, just like straight like 20 minutes of just promo, and like we didn't ask him anything about their life. So yeah, shout out to Matt Young and Bars, $Bars. So again, we'll have more interviews. We have one already locked in for May. You guys should enjoy that, a part 2 of one of our previous interviews. And I'm sure we'll have more along the way. But I'm definitely excited to get back to the bread and butter of what we do, episode 101. Bro, and I wanted to lead off with this only because it was fresh, like it just happened last night. So a couple things. I went to see the Tyler, the Creator concert last night in Miami. Phenomenal. So first off, dude, like it was a gift from my boss, and dude, he blessed me with sweet seats that I didn't even realize until I like a suite level seat. Like I didn't realize until I got there, and I was like, yo, where is this section? I've never seen it before. Like, oh, go to the 3rd floor. I'm like, dude, where the fuck are we? Am I going to the nosebleeds? Like, what? They find me right now? And then like as the elevator opens, like it's to the suite level. And I'm like, holy shit, bro.
Oh, wow.
Phenomenal vibe, bro. We had like, me and my boy had this whole little area to ourselves to just like dance, go crazy, order drinks, no lines, like, yo, a vibe, bro. And
nice.
So I want to start off though, like at the beginning of the concert. So Vince Staples was the second opening act that evening, and is for the entire like tour. So dude, when you think of Vince Staples, like what level do you think he should be at or is at when you think of him as an artist?
As an artist, I feel like his artistic approach makes me feel like he should be in a realm of like a Tyler when I compare him to people in his class. Okay.
Right. So that's what my initial thought was. So I get it. I know he's from LA. I don't really listen to him that much, but I do remember being exposed to him a lot on Complex. Like, I feel like he was just like blowing up, but that was like 5 years ago. So like, it was odd to me that like, as like the entire arena is getting to their seats, this guy's in the midst of a full blown performance. And then like, it was great, bro. He was great. Like clear as fuck, like funny, engaging. I'm like, bro, like, I feel like you should be bigger than this. Like, is that an odd thing to say about him?
No, but to be fair, I think a lot of that is his doing. From what I gather and heard in interviews and even in his music, like he's really against like the whole fame shit and just corporatization of music and shit. So I feel like that forced him to take a step back, and I don't think he's been releasing a ton of music except recently. So I feel like that kind of derailed his career a little bit.
Okay, yeah. See, I didn't know that part of it, because I just remember like the bangers he had like back in 2016, 2017, and then I feel like you just haven't heard from him since. And like a song here or there that pops up like on a playlist, but I was like, bro, like I feel like your name is like holds weight still. Like, so I was like, yo, who's performing right now? Because I'm like, I thought it was the guy before him. I'm like, yo, that's Vince Staple at 7:15. The show just started. Like, what are we doing here? But no, he was great, bro. Like, and he had like a pretty long set, so like it went into when people were like already in their seats. But like at first glance, I was like, this is odd. But then I wonder, like, I to your point as well, like, is it because like that type of rapper? You know what I mean? Like that type of LA rapper. Is it also like when you already have a Kendrick or maybe like one other person from that area that has a certain sound that made it, like isn't even like that level of like opening up for Tyler, if like is that a very like aspiration level on its own?
I feel like Vince still has like a cult following of sorts, and I feel like if he didn't, he for sure wouldn't be doing the things he's doing right now. But in terms of his career, I know it's kind of weird because he's a Crip, but he doesn't like rap the same kind of stuff that like a YG or something would rap. And I feel like to some people that's makes him more niche and interesting and weird in all kinds of different ways. But I really do feel like a lot of why he hasn't blown up quite so much is he's been like resisting what comes with that. I don't know if that means Tyler didn't resist necessarily, but I feel like Vince, from my interviews I've seen of him and stuff, like he has a similar quirkiness to him that like Tyler and stuff has that people like and enjoy. Like he talks a lot of shit and says funny things. But I feel like he just doesn't like being in the public eye really, and he's kind of sick of the politics.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Again, I had no like take either way, but I was like, I just figured because obviously you know more of him being from out like California. Like I was like, yeah, like I don't know, it just threw me off. Like why the fuck are you here? Like I feel like either you should be like right before Tyler, or like not here at all. But dude, he did a great job. Like the songs I knew slapped. The songs I didn't know, like he was so clear with his delivery that you just learned it for the first time and actually enjoyed it. So again, shout out to him. And yeah, shout out to Tyler for putting him on. And like, hopefully this is like the next, I mean, I think he's still like not even 30 yet. So like, I'm sure there's still plenty of time for him to go wherever he wants. But yeah, just like if you told me in 2017, he'll be like an opening act, I'm like, for who? You know what I mean? Like, like, who, what are you talking about? All right. So that was my first take on the concert. Bro, but Tyler, the Creator, fam, yo, he is the best, bro. Like, I am telling you, he is the best. I guarantee he's winning a Grammy this year for Best Rap Album. Like, fam, it is not even, best live hip-hop show I've ever seen, bro. And I've seen Watch the Throne. I've seen Life of Pablo. I've been to Astro World. Bro, this was the best hip-hop show by a fucking mile, bro. Like, it just...
That's saying a lot.
Bro, energy, and just like visionary, bro. Like it wasn't like, again, like we always make the old phrase of back in the day, like, just 5 dudes on stage just yelling, like that stopped for years now. So I'm not saying that, but like, he had 2 sets, like a story was being told in every song with the set up. Like it was just phenomenal. He brought out a boat to take him from set to set. And like, while like the crowd's going wild, the boat's also rocking, bro, just visually insane. And then he's clear as fuck. And then on the screen, they have it on his face the entire time. So it's almost like he's like if you just watched the screen and didn't watch him, it was like you were watching a movie play out for the first time. Like it was just, I was like, bro, blown away. Like just blown away by all of it, dude. Like literally, there was moments I was just like standing like, this isn't like, how did you even think of this? Like, how did you even think of this entire setup? Like, bro, crazy. I don't want to give away if anyone's going to go watch a show coming up, but like, it is what it is. Spoiler alert. In the, I guess the cities where he doesn't bring out A$AP Rocky, he has a hologram of A$AP Rocky in the windows of the house that's on stage. So there's like a 3-second span. You're like, oh shit, he brought out Rihanna's baby daddy. Like it's about to hit. Like, people are like are going crazy. Like he doesn't, but like he just knows how to play with the crowd. Like, just, dude, flawless, bro. Like, played all his hits. There was a couple songs that were about to get rowdy, and he, like, will give a heads up, like, you know what song this is coming up next? Back the fuck up, and then he'll get into it, right? Like, not making a big deal about it, but just letting people know, like, hey, let's be safe, but keep it moving. So, bro, like, just shout out to him. He said a great story. The year before... he won the Grammy. He was also nominated for Best Album with Flower Boy and lost to Kendrick. And like gave Kendrick his props on the elevator out of the Grammys. But on the way down the elevator, he had his boys with him. And he was like, bro, that's the last time I ever fucking lose to anyone ever again. And then he said from that moment, it inspired him to make Igor, which was the one that he won like everything for. So bro, like just... inspirational, but more than anything, bro, just a phenomenal fucking show. Like just you could tell that like that set up and like this the sound check and all that shit. Well, that's months and hours of like preparation. Like you just need to witness it to just take it in. So bro, if he comes to San Fran or anywhere near you, I would highly recommend going to see him, bro, because I'm telling you, like that shit got me pumped for like Coachella, which is a month away now, because like bro, like that made me like, this is what a concert should be. Like just 3 hours of take me to another world, bro. And it was just that.
Nice. No, that's dope to hear. And I think I definitely do need to see a show because I definitely enjoyed Tyler's music when he first came out. I forget the name of like those mixtapes and stuff, but I was like fully bought in. That's when like he was getting canceled basically by everyone for being crazy and talking
he was
shit
banned
about,
from London.
Yeah, like all that stuff. But I think over time I kind of like lost connection with his music. Not to say that I think it's bad, but I feel like it's not that kind of music you can just like passively listen to in the background. At least for me, I feel like
that's like you have to be fully engaged.
Yeah. But from like the music videos and stuff, I feel like that he definitely puts a lot of effort into making it like an experience. I feel like we've used that word a few times before, which is why I definitely want to see him in person.
Yeah, dude, I would highly recommend it, bro. Like, especially like it, like obviously when you heard this last album, Call Me If You Get Lost, like you like, yeah, he's cocky as fuck talking his shit, but like maybe it didn't connect as well. I don't know. For me, it did, but it took a while. I even made on the pod like the first go around. Like I'm like I don't understand what's going on, bro. The way he's dressed and like his persona on stage, like as he's doing those specific songs, bro, just like phenomenal acting. Like just like making you believe every word he's saying, which is just, dude, like that's all you can ask for, like an artist, right? Like a little rapper, like, yo, like this is believable, bro. I have the Rolls Royce, I have fancy luggage, I live a rich life, I have a boat here, like this is my normal fucking life. And let me tell you how I got, like, yo, just like so well done. And like, even though like the album, the concert starts with like the current album, then he goes off to other shit. But then it ends with like a song from the current, like it's just like a cohesive hour and 20-minute set, bro. Like just phenomenal.
Nice. So if you had to sum up like what his recent, if you had to describe to someone who's never heard of Tyler and his recent bodies of work, what would you describe it to be?
What would I describe it to be?
You could go with like Igor, just because it's top of mind.
No, I go with, I mean, Igor and like Call Me If You Get Lost. I would say an artist who's extremely comfortable in their own skin and will tell you their day to day. So that'd be like wealth, success, happiness, sadness, love, like all that. Like I would just say like it's an artist who's like the most comfortable in their own skin. So like you won't like, whereas like some rappers, like you can hear the ego coming through and they're trying to like maybe put on a persona. I feel like with Tyler, like it's believable. Like I'm like, yo, whatever he's saying, like that happened or was about to happen.
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to put it.
Yeah. So shout out to him again, phenomenal show. And then also side shout out to I always fuck up her name, but he has a couple songs with her, like "See You Again" and "After the Storm." Kylie Lucas.
Kylie. Now you got me fucking up her name. No, you're talking about Don Tolliver's girl. I don't want to.
Yo, so is that his girl?
Kylie Uchis.
Right? Kylie Uchis. So yeah, okay. So I thought it was a part of the show. So she brings him out and they do the one song together and they made out. But
that's like, his girl. That's his girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire.
She was in his past 2 music videos.
Bet. Okay, because I follow her on IG, but I've never seen him. But I guess they're just trying to do it for like keep the images separate. But nah, good for him, bro, because he just bagged the Grammy-winning artist. So good for him.
Yeah.
Bro, but she was, dude, because she was the act right before Tyler, and me and my boy were like, bro, I think the entire people here are here for her. Because, bro, like everyone, like, dude, these like little like teeny bopper girls were losing their fucking mind when she came on stage, bro. Like phenomenal stage presence, dude. She had like a 40, like if I was like a 40-minute set, bro, in heels, dancing, twerking.
She's Colombian too, I believe. I don't know if you had a lot of Colombians in the crowd, but
yeah, I mean it's Miami, so it was predominantly like Hispanics. But yeah, bro, she killed it. I'll tell you, like it was overall like I didn't see the first guy because I was there. I got there like at 7:30 or whatever. But Vince Staples, then her, then Tyler, dude, that was 3.5 hours, extremely well spent.
Nice.
Yeah. Solid. Yeah, I need to find me. I'm excited for concert season, bro. I know there's like a
same.
I keep seeing these random like Omicron stealth COVID. I'm like, bro, don't even fucking dare do this for me, bro.
That's my dilemma. I'm like, concerts or work from home. Like, which one do I choose? I'm fine with having both because we kind of did do that several months ago. Like,
so wait, as of right now, what's the update on like when the job is expecting you in?
So I have to go back in the week of April 11th, but it's 1 day a week for, I think, several weeks. And then it increases to 2 days a week. And then I think by summer, we'll be back in 3 days a week, assuming no new variants or anything come in.
But do you get like the insight that like, hey, like I can like if you have like a planned trip, they'll be cool with even like if you don't come in a certain week and you still work from like wherever you're at?
So we'll get a month of work from home, like work from anywhere.
Okay.
It's kind of like how vacation days work, except you can say, I want to work a week here, but you can't do like 2 days here, 4 days here, 5 days here. It has to be 1 week, and you could do that 4 times.
Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty. I mean, at least they're thinking about it.
Yeah. So that's not bad. I think it's just annoying to have to like seek the approval now and like make sure there's no important in-person meetings and stuff, which 9 times out of 10 there aren't. But I hate having to basically get someone's permission to do work when I'm a fucking adult. Like,
and also you've done it for 2 years and
house
proven that you can do it. Like,
right?
What's it matter?
Yeah,
that's the part I hate. I'm like, yo, why do I have to tell? Because
yeah.
they were telling me like for tax purposes, we need to know. I'm like, bro, like, why? Like, if I'm in my laptop in Coral Springs or fucking Coral Ridge in California, like, how the fuck does that matter? It's like, I'm online, right, bro. Like, I'm online when you tell me to be like, that's it's done.
Yeah. So I've heard some shitty excuses, but the thing that pisses me off too is like I've talked to several people who want to go back in, and they're all in the same predicament. They're single, no roommates, bored, don't have friends or some shit, and those are the people that are like begging to be in all day, or they just don't know how to like work from home. It could be that too.
But like if you have a wife, you have a girl, you have friends you can go visit, you're like, bro, like, why am I here? I can do this somewhere else and then also go about like enjoying the rest of my day. Like, I feel you, bro. But I mean, we'll figure it out. But yeah, man, concert season is definitely upon us. Side note, I saw the Amine concert in Fort Lauderdale. Great show. He killed it. Actually, similar thoughts to Vince Staples, though. Like, I was surprised about the venue selection. Only because I've seen videos of him performing larger venues. So maybe like his team did more research and knew like, hey, like if we try to get an arena, like we're not going to sell it out. So it's gonna like, I mean, I'm okay with that, bro, because that just seemed like smart business to me. So but yeah, shout out to him. Great performance as well. Sounds exactly like the album, if not better. Another thing about Tyler, bro, sounds better than the album. Like, because we heard songs on the way back home. And I was like, oh, wow, that shit sounds way better live. And that was impressive because I feel like most rappers like aren't like that. Like, you're lucky if it sounds close to it with all the auto-tune and shit. So
let alone better,
it was, I was like, wow, this is fire. So good for him. All right, bro. So keeping it moving. I feel like the biggest thing to do, it's almost April. So it's an entire Q1 of pop culture has gone at Kanye. So your thoughts on Kanye being banned from the Gram and now being banned from the Grammys?
I mean, I can't say I'm surprised at all. Like, he was just consistently posting shit. A lot of it unnecessary, even though it came from like an understandable place. And I also think the media kind of egged him on too. Like, it got to a point where they would say shit and then he would respond to them. And I think it just kind of spiraled out of control. But I think I've like, ever since like he started calling him Skeet and shit, I've kind of just lost interest in the whole thing. Just because I feel like the media is beating it with a dead horse and trying to like instigate and
I mean, they just want news.
Right. And I know the Kardashian clan loves feeding off this stuff. Not to say that we're not contributing to it, but like in terms of me thinking about it, like it never my thought always ends like after the headline. I'm like, oh, interesting, like he did that, but I'm never like, oh my God, they're trying to take Kanye down. Like, I know this is just kind of part of what they do. And eventually,
and they including him too. This has been his norm for like the past like 7 months now. Right.
It's just like so normal. I'm desensitized to it. I guess that's the best way to put it. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, it comes out that he, I don't know, fucking egged Kim Kardashian's house, or like she fucking sucked Pete's dick on his lawn or something. I don't know. Like, it's just not surprising at this point.
Dude, but what's funny to me, dude, like when they, I think I told you online, when they banned him from Instagram, like I was relieved, bro, because I feel like I was getting personally spammed every time.
Oh yeah.
Shit pop. I'm like, bro, like we get it. Like, you don't like this guy. Like, why are you fucking, like, what are you doing? Like, so I was about to like stop following him because it just felt too much. And like, I'm gonna steal a take I actually heard from Flagrant 2, but like, I kind of agree with it. Like, bro, like, what are you mad at? Like, what are you mad at him at, bro? Because like at Pete, because at the end of the day, like, your wife who you divorced, now your ex-wife is a grown-ass woman who chose this guy, like didn't cheat on you, alleged, like, like just chose. Like, so how is this his fault? But I feel like if a girl did this shit, it'd be like, yo, this crazy bitch, like, why is she so thirsty? Get over, find someone else. And like for him, everyone's like, yeah, fight for your rights, fight for your, like, no, bro, like why are you mad at, like, Pete's like the nicest guy. So like, that's the part that like, I was like over. I'm like, bro, like, it was funny. And then like the line in the Easy song with Game was funny. But I'm like, bro, like, all right, bro, like, this is like enough, man. Like you're annoying me. Imagine the people, like, if this is actually a real thing, like the people you're actually annoying. And like, what if like Pete's actually like scared for his life just to walk outside and get fucking a bagel in the morning in New York? Like that's
right,
weird, bro. Like,
I feel like it's the whole masculinity thing. Like people just feel like, oh, that was your girl, and you're gonna let this dude fuck your ex-wife or wife or whatever her official title is. Like, it's funny to see.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
Oh, I'm gonna beat your ass type thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The way I see this whole thing is, it's like if my friend in real life was complaining about how he doesn't have custody of his kids and how this new dude is fucking his ex-girl and all this shit, I would be like, I don't give a fuck about anything. Like, get out of my face. I'm blocking your ass. Sucks to be you. Like,
yeah, if it's like, if it's an every minute of the day thing, right? Like that. Yeah, it's like, bro, because obviously, like, if you need advice, fine, bro. But it feels like everyone's either giving advice or whatever, but like he just wants the attention and keep talking about it. I was like, bro, like this is weird, bro. Like this is. Yeah, like I get it. If she said it felt like harassment, I believe her. Like it's another form of like domestic violence. It's like, bro, like you're mentally fucking with me because all you keep doing is bringing up negative shit. It's like, bro, like what do you want? Like we broke up. I'm with someone else. Like that's how this works, bro. Like you know, just be single for the next 40 years of your life. Like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's all super strange to me. I don't know what to think of it, and I feel like there's so many. We're just getting to a point where we need some sort of like fact checker for even shit like this, because I feel like artists in this era thrive on not necessarily faking everything, but exaggerating the truth, leaving important details out, and then it causes us to maybe spew misinformation or instigate and stuff, and then it just all gets blown out of proportion. So half the time, like no matter what, unless someone like literally dies, I'm like, I don't know if I can believe this is that serious. Yeah, no, dude, I agree 100% with you. Your thoughts on him being banned by the Grammys, though? Banned by the Grammys, I think that's kind of dumb. Like, I don't really know what their rationale is. I get from like a PR standpoint, maybe they just want to distance themselves from it, but I don't feel like anyone's like gonna cancel or protest the Grammys if he were to perform. It's not like Kanye's done anything. So the only reason why I sided with that is that it's one thing if like, so the thing about like Eminem back in the day when they were like protesting, ban him. He's talking about like, you know, LGBT in a negative way, blah, blah, blah. But like, they also nominated him for an award for that same body of work. So you can't nominate someone for that body of work and then not let them perform that, right? So I think the reason why I think they're leaning or did this, it's like, dude, we love your body of work and we love you, but you've also proven to not follow any script, especially the last 2 months, and this is live television. Like, bro, we can't. Oh, so you think he's gonna be like "fuck Skeet" or something? Yeah, like, or performance? Like exactly. Like they don't know. It's like, bro, we can't just make this a Kanye show for 10 minutes and you lose your mind. Like, but their ratings would be through the roof. Like everyone on planet Earth would watch this shit. I guess, dude. But I think they also have like sponsors and shit, bro. Like if like a sponsor's like, bro, like why was the commercial right before and after this, and this guy just lost his, like, I don't know, bro. Like I can see from like a corporate standpoint, like, yo, I can't trust, because for those whatever 5 minutes, he's an employee of CBS. So if I'm the CEO, I'm like, bro, like I don't know what you're gonna do. Like I can't take this chance. Like you're still nominated. If you win the award, we'll mail it to you. But I can't have you just think you can do whatever the fuck you want for like, you know, those 3 minutes you're on stage. I mean, is there no like, obviously Kanye probably wouldn't sign it, but can't they just have a contract that says, hey, you're not allowed to speak about the Kardashians during your performance or something? Yeah, I do, but Kanye's worth like, that's money comes, dude. What are they gonna do? Fine him? He'll be like, okay, like what is like $1 million? Like again, it would never even be $1 million. So if it's like a $50,000 fine, it's like, okay, bro, like, do you take? I mean, was that like officially online stated as one of the reasons they did cancel him, or they were saying that he was
I think they said the suits at CBS thought that he was too much of a loose cannon currently based off his online actions.
Okay. I mean, I guess that's fair. I don't know. In my mind, I felt like after learning this, I still feel like a lot of companies wouldn't give a fuck. Like, I'm sure there's tons of companies who would be like, this is going to be great visibility regardless. Like, I'll spend $100 million on an ad or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, again, he still like has a bunch of other sponsorship deals. Like, I don't think it's like anyone canceling him, but it just felt like, dude, like I can't take this chance. You know, like,
right.
Again, I'm okay when it's like antics. Like if it's a body of work, I'm like, that's different because like, yo, you're like saying it's okay in one state, but you're saying it's not. Like, so that's where I'm like, that's fucking contradicting. But this, I'm like, I kind of get, bro, because it was my business, and I like, yo, I see you online lose your mind every day on Instagram. Bro, I don't know who's gonna walk in on Monday. Like wait, you good, bro? Like you like work from home. You know what I mean? Like work from home.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting how it works though? Because even like in like the YouTube world, like when terrorism and I don't want to say the word because I don't want to get demonetized, but when certain groups were like basically encouraging people to attack the country and be like anti-patriots and stuff, sometimes ads would accidentally show up on those pages and like morons would assume that like fucking Colgate is
sponsoring
Osama or some shit. I'm like, how dumb do you have to be to think that like people paying for ads literally endorse anything that like takes place or like an accident? Like, I don't know. That's just baffling to me. But then again, like people don't work in advertising, so I guess
so they don't know the ins and outs of it. Like they just assume that like you specifically picked this like group to sponsor. Like,
right.
This is the Procter and Gamble of the terrorists that we need to support.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
But stay on the Kanye train, dude. Have you had a chance to see any parts of the doc yet?
I only saw the first episode. And that alone was super inspirational. I think what shocked me is I was like, damn, they really fucking fault. Like they're only missing his pissing and shitting, basically.
Right. Shout out to Cootie, who was a cameraman who pretty much gave up his entire like job and career to just follow Kanye around without like, I don't know how much. I mean, clearly Kanye was making some kind of money from beats, but he wasn't obviously a billionaire back then. So
I hope he's paying him well now because that's a lot of footage,
bro. So this is the thing, man. This is why you need to watch episode 2 and 3 and see how their relationship develops.
Okay.
For those exact reasons. Like, it's like, wow, this is like the guy who did everything for you. So like, why? Like,
all right. So now I just sense that he got fucked over somehow.
No, dude, but it ends perfect. Like he's still in Kanye's life now. So like that's obvious because like the doc came out. But it's interesting to see how Kanye's brain develops when he starts like watching it. Again, it's for me. I'm not gonna do any spoiler alerts for you. Like, but like, it's inspirational throughout. Because regardless of how he treats people, like this kid had the vision that, I'm going to take over the fucking world and you're not going to tell me I can't. So that itself is inspirational. But in seeing it, I can see how the shit that happened on Drink Champs isn't a one-off. Like when he went in and the people that were part of his family, like Big Sean, Talib, like, bro, like that's been happening since he made it. So that was interesting to me because it felt like, oh, he just got drunk and he's off the meds. And I'm like, nah, bro. Like, that's pretty much been Kanye since like Jesus Walks became like the biggest thing in the world. So a lot of people, again, you'll again, I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't watched it. Phenomenal documentary, inspirational as fuck. But yeah, it's very interesting, that part of it. Like, the bigger he gets, how other things kind of like just change.
Right. I almost feel like it's impossible to get to that level without like some sort of relationship or things getting torn apart. Like, I feel like it takes a special kind of ego to be like, I'm going to take over everything.
Right. Because the ego's what got him there.
Yeah.
So he's
like, he just didn't accept no.
Yeah, exactly. But there was, I know personally, I think there was better ways to go about certain things. But again, dude, like, who am I to tell a billionaire who's, you know, on top of the world? And dude, like, the time frames are what's wild, bro. Like, dude, the shit he was working on back in like 01 And you're like, holy shit, bro, you've been doing this shit for almost 24 years? Like, that's, bro, mind-blowing. And dude, honestly, it sounds like a different human being, him speaking. Like you know it's Kanye, but you're like, is that Kanye? Because like he just doesn't even talk the same anymore. So like, yeah, just very interesting. But again, super. I think the most, it's just inspirational, bro. It's just like, holy shit, like how the fuck do you even like think the goals you have, let alone like make it happen?
Yeah, it's super impressive. Also makes me wonder like what because I know he always compares himself to like Disney and Elon Musk and stuff, but like I don't know if I fully understand what his like ultimate mission is, because I know he himself like wants to be a creative and inspire and everything, but like what does that really mean to him? And maybe the rest of the documentary answers that, but sometimes when I hear these like geniuses or whatever, creators, billionaires speak, sometimes a lot of what they say can sound like fluff, and just like things that sound good but don't necessarily mean a whole lot when you dissect it. So I'm just curious, like what at this point in time his true purpose is outside of like Yeezys and dope albums and things like that.
Yeah. It's weird though, dude, because I wonder like if like your purpose can change as you're on this planet, right? Like I think I'm not to bite anyone, but I think I heard of somewhere like brilliant. It's just something like maybe like Michael Jordan's purpose was to be the best basketball player. Then you retire. So then what? You know what I mean? So then you have to come up with a new purpose. So it's like I feel like because the doc, again, not to give anything away, but like it doesn't tell you what his purpose is, because it feels like every 4 years he had a new one. So I don't know, like if you're just meant to constantly just reinvent yourself and like, because remember, like when we first started the pod, like it felt like his purpose was to take gospel music to a certain level that is more digestible for the masses. Like that felt like his purpose, and he kind of achieved that and is achieving that, because I haven't heard Donda 2 yet, but like Donda is still gospel music to a certain extent, you know what I mean? So I wonder if that's his current purpose we're living through, and then he may have another one when he hits like 50, So I wonder if like once you reach like genius levels of achievement, like I feel like your purpose or destiny kind of keeps changing as you keep, observing new things in life.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that could very well be the case. I mean, shit, I don't even know necessarily my purpose on any given day. But for someone like him, I feel like to reach those heights, you definitely have something in mind, even if it does change. And I feel like if I could sum up what I imagine his purpose up until this point, what that has been, I feel like he just really wanted to prove that he could do whatever it was that he was interested in or set his mind to. Like he was into fashion, and someone might argue that fashion doesn't really do much for humanity, or doesn't have like a very specific impact that you can measure. But for him, I think it was like breaking into the industry and like showing people that he didn't need, these older rich white men to make a way. Like he could do it himself, so to speak. So I feel like that was part of it.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, again, I agree. Like I feel like you don't get to that level without maybe initially one singular goal. But then I think you're like, he was so determined and focused. I think he probably shocked himself by getting there so fast. It's like, all right, fuck, then what's the next goal? That kind of a thing. So, because like even like Jay-Z, there's no way, I can't imagine when Jay-Z was fucking dropping It's a Hard Knock Life, he thought his purpose would be whatever it currently is now at 54. Like,
exactly. Yeah.
That's like 25, 28 years ago. Like there's no way you thought like you'd be the reason why Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg perform at the halftime show because you're in cahoots with the NFL. Like your purpose to bring fucking crip walking to the world. Like there's no way you thought that was your, but it ended up happening though, which is crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty wild to think about.
But definitely watch the doc, and we'll catch up on other episodes about it, because it's a phenomenal watch, for sure. So another thing that's obviously part of the Kardashian Kanye West tree, I think there's been more sightings of Travis Scott. Shout out to him and Kylie, who brought in a son a few weeks ago as well. Shout out to them, healthy baby boy. The name is yet to be released. Apparently it was Wolf, and they're like, nah, we changed it. We'll let you know. We'll let you know what the new name is shortly. So your thoughts on just Travis Scott being back out here, like, bro, at basketball games and just posting more on social media after, I think it was close to like a 2 to 3 month hiatus.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's all part of the PR game. They're just going to slowly introduce him here and there. Not that he's like, he was in hiding and he's purposely showing up to XYZ place. I think they're just casually reintroducing him to the public and being like, maybe you should do this or show your face a little now, here and then, just so that it's not like a shock when he does announce his album drop or whatever the case is. And honestly, I think most people have forgotten. Maybe the people that were on the fence, particularly, obviously the conspiracy theorists and shit are still gonna scream cancel Travis, but I think the trauma or initial trauma of the atrocities has died down for the most part. Maybe not enough for him to just be rocking big stages immediately, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, if he drops a song this summer, like, everyone's gonna have fucking amnesia. Yeah.
It is interesting though, because like you clearly see what the plan is with, like, it's first like the fund, like, to help, with mental health. And then it's like him at like a basketball game, like 2 days later, then it's him at another charity event. Like, all right, dude, like we see this, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you but you start thinking about like the families, right? And it's just like, is that enough? Like, is 2 months banned from Instagram, like, enough kind of a thing? Like, I know it's weird, bro. Cause like, yes, like he's been in hiatus from the gram, but like he's still been out there living his life. We just haven't been privy to it, like, from an up close person perspective. So like, it's weird, because then you start thinking about like the metaverse. It's like, oh, like what's gonna be the metaverse? It's like, bro, like I feel like it's gonna be like now. Like if you live by everything on the gram is real, like you're already kind of in the metaverse. But if you're like, dude, I just stopped posting today, like, cool, you can just, it's like a weird concept. It's like, oh, we haven't seen him on Instagram. It's like his life must be ruined. It's like, bro, it's been fine. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, this motherfucker's probably sipping on coconuts and, chilling with his wife and a bunch of supermodels.
Dude, like, honestly, it sounds almost like more like, because I was thinking about this for Tyler yesterday, bro. Like, think about it. Like, so for yesterday, like his sound check must have been like at least 3 to 4 hours to achieve what they achieved. Then the show itself is like, he alone had an hour and a half. So that's like 4 or 5 hours of your day. You're doing this every single night for like a 30-day stretch, right? So now you need to post about this shit. He must have, it makes sense now why certain guys are always jacked. Bro, he must have burned like 3,000 calories easily in that 1 hour set. Like, you just profusely, it's like amazing. So it's like, bro, like you have to work out, you have to do sound check, perform, and then also perform online to keep people engaged, to keep coming to your shows, because, that shit itself sounds fucking exhausting. So I can imagine Travis be like, I'm gonna fucking embrace this time off and like not give a fuck anymore. Because like that sounds like the most refreshing thing, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure it's super taxing. I've only performed a few times in my life, and like one day would have me fucking be exhausted, and it wasn't at the level that they're doing it. I'm just on this little ass platform doing like a few songs. They're doing like basically a play. It's like a play, right. Like they're doing it for an hour and a half, and that's just the part you see. And I can't imagine doing that for 30 days straight. And I feel like that's why a lot of those artists are like on so many drugs and just mentally drained and depressed and stuff, because by day 3, I'm sure you're like, fuck, I got to do this again for like 6 hours. And it's literally the same exact thing.
Right. And then you have to be at a certain level. Cause like me and my boy were like, dude, like, all right, I get it. This is a Miami show. So in Miami, New York, LA, you're gonna bring it up to a certain level. But like, are the people like Wyoming getting this? Right. Is Nebraska getting this, Tyler? If so, like, that's fucking insane, bro. Like, every night at that energy is crazy. And then again, to think you're in new cities, like you have maybe like corporate commitments and dinners you have to attend and the networking you have to do, and then like post about it. So people are like, it's just like, holy, like, dude, like that itself, like us thinking about it, like while waiting for him to come on was like, dude, that shit is exhausting. Like, I don't know how the fuck. So like for Travis, I feel like it might have been nice to be like, yo, let me just take like 3 months to get the fuck out of here. But like by out of here, I just like, let me not have my phone in my face like this and post every moment.
Yeah. And I even saw like Jack Harlow speaking about it. I forget where it was or what platform, but he basically said that he wants to, like, he doesn't post much on social media. He doesn't like, you know, documenting everything about his personal life, but he would also like to take time off, but he's like, I'm not at a level yet where I can be like a Kendrick and disappear for like 2.5 years. He's like, I have to keep going. Like, I don't have a choice right now. Whereas obviously if Drake wanted to, he could. Drake doesn't want to because he loves like being in the spotlight. But I can only imagine how exhausting it must be for these artists to reach that level. And then you also feel the pressure of keeping that momentum too, which is a whole nother level of pressure, I'm sure.
Yeah, because that's I feel like that's what he's probably like Jack was getting, like the honest, like dude, like at the end of the day, like this is also like a job for me. Like I need this money, so it's like I wish I had $100 million in the bank. So like, yeah, let me just take a year off. But like that's not probably the case just yet. So yeah, the honesty is definitely appreciated there. But yeah, again, Travis back in the spotlight. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if he popped up on a stage somewhere at some point, and we're like, oh, all right, this kind of makes sense, right? So, all right, bro. So maybe not the last thing, but there was some like conspiracy theories out there over the weekend. Drake unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion. Rihanna's company Fenty, which she was sponsoring Megan Thee Stallion, dropped her as well from all campaigns. And the internet and the comment sections are thinking that something may have been leaked in the background where there's information potentially about to come out that the story was with Tory was manufactured. So your thoughts on how like those headlines played out?
Yeah. I mean, originally when I saw the headlines, my initial reaction was that Megan and Rihanna knew something that we didn't know. And, you know, Tory was telling the truth all along. And that's why they decided to just, you know, disassociate with her.
Yeah.
But after listening to academics, because he somehow has the know in like everything. Like everything. Like there's people just willing to give him all sorts of information. And obviously he's credible. Like he won't really say anything unless he knows it's a fact.
He has some facts behind it.
Yeah. And he essentially said another thing that I was questioning was like, well, when did they unfollow her? Because it's not, if they both unfollowed her at the same time, that would be one thing. But I don't think there's any necessarily proof of when they each unfollowed her or dropped her or whatever. And academics was basically saying that that Drake and Rihanna don't know about the case or even care. And he thinks this could have happened at any time. And I believe he even said the reason why Meg was like removed from the site or whatever was because her campaign was over with or something along those lines. But from what I gather, this doesn't mean that Tory's innocent per se, or that they know exactly what's going on. But regardless, I do think that at this point in time, a lot of artists are becoming more and more skeptical of Megan.
Right. That was my take from it. I feel like that's like more artists are not afraid to like have Tory on a song or Tory in like their IG stories or being caught hanging out with him. Like at this point, I feel like the court of public opinion is like, bro, like he would have been locked up if he actually shot you in the foot. Like there's
right.
Like stop. So again, but dude, so what about this take where like if it's found out that she lied, like fuck to the public, like in a court, should she go to jail for like putting this guy's life and future earnings at risk by accusing him of shooting her?
I mean, if not jail, it should be like he should own like 50% of her music forever. It has to be some sort of penalty that hurts. And I don't know, for me, like maybe that the financial like make up for all the financial loss that I could have potentially or did actually suffer from. I guess that's really up to Tory, but she should definitely suffer some way if it turns out that she's lying. Because if he didn't damage his finances, she definitely damaged his reputation. And there's probably a lot of artists that would have worked with him earlier.
Oh yeah.
So if she is lying, there definitely needs to be a lesson taught. And this is not to say that like, oh, no one should believe in women or whatever the case is. More so, anyone who wants to take advantage of someone else by bending the truth, I think that's just disgusting, especially a public figure, because you know what kind of damage
the consequences
that can cause. So she's got to suffer somehow. Whatever he suffered times two, basically.
Yeah, that's my point, bro. Like, if it comes out that she lied specifically about him pulling the trigger, dude, she has to go to jail, bro. Like, maybe not the same sentence he would have gotten, but like, dude, I'm talking about at least 6 months to a year in prison, bro. Because that's wild, bro. And also with the simple fact that, like, again, kudos to him for staying relevant and like figuring out shit with like NFTs and other ways to like make money, because clearly he couldn't go on tour and no one was really fucking with him on the playlist. But that was a bonus for him, bro. Like, he could have really been done. And dude, and the fact at the same time that her career took off, people felt bad for her. They put her in every single cover story. She got voted best hip hop act at the BET Award. I think she won like a Grammy or was not. I'm like, bro, like all these things that I think we've agreed, like based off the music, probably isn't merited. So I don't know, for all that shit combined, I feel like she has to do at least like 6 months to 12 months in jail. Like, it's like, bro, it's only again, like if she's saying one thing to the public, but in court she's not, then that's again, we don't know dick. But if in court to a judge she's like, he shot me, and it's proven that's a lie, fam, she has to go to jail, bro. Like that is just, dude, because it has to send a fucking message to like every human being, like, bro, you cannot just make something up. Because like too much like now, like especially with social media, but like people can just make a point of view about you, and like somehow it becomes like factual. And it's like, it's just a fucking opinion. You know what I mean? But shit like this, you can't just throw some shit, because that could have ended Tory's life, dog. Like, just over. Yeah,
no, 100% agree. Like, it's not something to play around with, and that's why I'm like, I don't think we're all out here saying we know for sure Tory's innocent or that she's innocent. I think it's just crazy because obviously if he did shoot her, we're saying to ourselves Tory would be in jail, and we can't fathom that someone would lie about something so serious. So that also leaves a bit of doubt that Tory's innocent. So you're just like, I don't know. We obviously have our own speculations about what may or may not have taken place, but if anyone lies about something,
we're only like a few months away from this being like 2 years.
Yeah, which is nuts. That shit feels like it was 6 months ago or something.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, his ass should have been under the jail by now if he really did it. Like,
that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, don't tell me about COVID backing shit up. Like, fam, like if he shot someone, he would, like, I don't know, bro. Like, it's just, I can't fathom it, bro. Like, as more time passes out and he's not in jail, he's allowed to travel. You see him, like, dude, he's in Miami nonstop promoting different events. I'm like, bro, like, this guy's living his best. Again, we don't know. It appears he's living his best life. So, again, to each their own. But again, it'd be one thing if she's like, oh, he cheated on me. It's like, all right, bitch, like, whatever. Like, we'll take that for what, but he shot you? Like, that part, like, I can't. And I think a lot of people in the, like, in the world of public opinion, is like also agreeing with that take. Is like, dude, like, did he really? Because like, he's just out here and like he shot you. Like, you can just shoot anyone, and it's fine. And,
he
like,
doesn't seem like the kind of person to
but also, like,
do that.
Like you told me, like, California has like the most strictest gun fucking laws in the world, and like this happened in LA. You just shot someone in LA, and you're
and
out
in like
here.
The Hollywood Hills. It wasn't in like
dude,
the depths of Compton or some shit.
Yeah, like, I can't.
And with witnesses too. It wasn't like some domestic thing where like, you know, either party could lie. It was like, I think around several people. Granted, people do dumb shit when they're drinking, but at the same time, Tory doesn't strike me as like a reckless person who would just be out here like shooting people. If it did happen, I feel like it was definitely some sort of accident that maybe he was indirectly involved in, and she's making it seem like he was trying to kill her, basically.
Yeah, kill her foot.
Yeah.
Oh man, good shit though. Anything else that you want to? We did a good job. Our first episode in a minute, going through all this stuff on the list. Anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, nothing pressing.
All right, bro. So let's get to the heat of the week. Our first heat of the week in a minute. So apparently there'll be controversy about Blair's pick today, so I'll let him go first.
Yeah, so this one I came across on Spotify just through I think the new music like release playlist that happens every week.
Okay.
It's by your favorite rapper ever, Dave East, featuring an artist. I think he goes by Kalen for real, because at the end of his name it's FRFR. But the song is called No Cocaine. And it's produced by, I don't know if you're familiar with Mike and Keys, but they're one of Nipsey's main producers.
Okay.
And I know one of the, and I ironically saw a comment on our Dave East video from like a year ago or whatever, but it basically said that his beat selection is part of the reason why his music's boring. And I did my own investigating after I heard this song because I really liked it. And I'm like, and I thought about our old episode. And I'm like, why hasn't Dave East hit? Because I think lyrically he's very strong, but obviously that's not enough. And I think a lot of
females also find him very attractive. Like,
yeah,
he's still relatively famous for like the low level of actual music success he has.
Right. And I think a lot of the common themes I've read are that his music's monotonous. They don't feel like there's really a story that entices you. Like they feel like it's bland, like street shit that like anyone else has already said.
Like generic New York shit.
Yeah. And then the beat selection, even like Nas has had that criticism. I think for me, beat selection's huge. But this particular beat, the hook, everything drew me in. So I listened to it like a million times. Mike and Keys are one of my favorite producers. So I think that had a huge role to play in it. So that ended up being my heat of the week. I was really impressed with that one. It's called No Cocaine.
Dave East, No Cocaine. All right, I'll give it a spin for you, bro. That's funny because like he's so irrelevant in my thoughts of like artists that like he didn't even pop up in my head when you made that comment to me. I was like, bro.
Oh, yeah, you said Logic?
Yeah, I said Logic, or I was thinking like who's the other guy who looks like me? Joyner Lucas.
Joyner?
Yeah.
No.
I was thinking like one of those two.
I mean, they've gotten the same criticisms too. Like,
yeah,
it's boring or beats are bad or whatever the case is.
I think those two have a far larger cult following.
Oh, hell yeah. Like they still sell out shows. People could call them corny all day, but they'll have
because I think they're like actually successful music wise. They're maybe not like famous like that, but like just music wise, they're actually doing pretty well. Yeah. Dude, for me, I'm gonna give some love to our recent interviewees. Matt Young, I love his project, the overall project, Living in My Head. Again, part 1. I think part 2 is gonna drop this summer. He said in June. But for me, Enough Said on that project, banger for me. Clear Message. If that's gonna be your first Matt Young song, I think is gonna hook you into his other stuff. And then for bars, I gotta go with Confessions. Fire song, great visuals for that. Clear Message. So yeah, those two would be my heat of the week that I would add to the playlist along with No Cocaine. But then I want to give an honorable mention, bro. I want to ask you, how does it feel to release Fully Charged? Right? Is that name Fully Loaded?
Fully Loaded. Same shit, same difference.
Fully Loaded. The emoji.
The battery.
Yeah.
I know. Even I get tripped up sometimes.
So Fully Loaded, your was it second release of the year?
Is it? Yeah, my second release of the year, I believe. Second release. Feels good. This one, I had written last year. There was a bit of delay, just touching up some things with the song with the sound engineer who we actually interviewed before, Angelo Carrero. Wanted to make sure it was sounded exactly how I wanted. I never like to rush things. Unfortunately, we reached that point. So great follow-up for me to my last song with him, which was Ignore Me. Just wanted something kind of higher energy, kind of has a spacey Travis Scott type feel to it, but so far so good. A lot of people have said positive things about it. Why
don't you, like the same way we interview artists, like for you right now? So like, why don't you educate people who are like maybe in a similar spot to you, who are like trying to get shit going, right? Because we could probably do the same thing for the pod, like our day-to-day. Like, you get this song from Angelo. All right, Blair, this is the final version. So now what is your process as far as like rolling it out, trying to get on certain platforms? Like what is your day-to-day look like?
Yeah. So for me, like I always like record the song and like mix and master it myself, but I can't ever do it to like a radio ready level. It's just like listenable, and I can do enough effects to tell the sound engineer like an Angelo or whoever else, like this is the effect I'm going for, like these are the echoes and all that shit, but obviously put your spin on it and like do it professionally. So once I finish recording the song, I'll send it to that person. Usually I'll have like the visuals in mind, like fully loaded, like the battery and stuff like that kind of was already in my head. So while I'm having the song being worked on, I'll reach out to the art guy to make that. And then as soon as I have everything, usually I'll upload it to YouTube early, kind of like how we do our episodes, schedule it. Then I'll go to Submit Hub, which is a popular platform where you basically like buy credits and you can filter through a bunch of different blogs and playlists and submit it to them, and they can review it for like a couple credits, which is like a couple dollars. And they can reject it, they can accept it. Unfortunately, a lot of them just reject it and they're like, this isn't, the song's great, but this isn't our cup of tea. It's just like the name of the game. But that's another thing I do. Usually I'll throw some ads behind it just to get some momentum for the song. I'll, of course, like post teasers a couple weeks before on Instagram. I don't think that really helps with like streaming and stuff. I think it's more so just telling people like, hey, this is coming up. But I found that TikTok for song releases, shout out to Wes because he does a good job of this. Like he'll post a bunch of like snippets in advance of the song to get a buzz, like
on TikTok.
Yeah, like he literally just played the first 3 seconds of a beat and like was nodding his head to it, and like somehow that TikTok got like 50,000 views or something.
Jesus.
And he's gotten a pretty big fan base from that on there. So I think that's the wave. Instagram's kind of oversaturated at this point, but I don't really have like a perfect process. It's more so just
yeah, for sure. I mean, dude, I feel like all this for us, especially like the pod, you, drop shipping, like I feel like this is all like trial and error. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this worked. Let me try it again. Oh, that didn't work. Well, let me see what did work. So yeah, no, I was just wondering. I'm sure other people like are ready to pull that trigger, but I just don't know like where do I start? How do I do it? Like, what do I even do? I might just post it on my Instagram and hoping people listen to me.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's consistent is I don't ever like record a song and then release it like a week later. Like I like to have a few songs line up for a few months so that I'm not constantly chasing, my next song or whatever the case is. Cause I have one in April. Fortunately, there was a couple songs that came to mind on Friday that I wrote. So I'm hoping to finish that. And then that way I can have like May and June covered. And then that leaves me another like 3 months to just sit on another song so that I'm not forcing anything. Because once I start forcing shit, then it doesn't feel fun anymore.
Yeah. Like it's almost like a job. Like this is not meant to be like, it is, but it isn't, like it's meant to be like an art form that you just like enjoy. I get that. So question, have you were you inspired at the wedding? Like, was there a moment like, yo, let me go to fucking like, leave me alone for like 10 minutes, like fucking write a verse? Like, did that
honestly not. I think I was just so focused on the wedding. The moment? Yeah. I took a break from music for a bit. I was focusing on like the drop shipping stuff. Just because I wasn't like in a inspirational mood. I was actually more exhausted. I was like, oh, let me try something new. And then when the drop shipping stuff was like working for a bit, then I was focusing my attention on that. But then after the wedding, when I had some downtime, every now and then I'll literally go on YouTube and just listen to beats, even if it doesn't lead to anything. And then it just so happened this past Friday, 2 beats like really caught my attention, and then I'll sit there and like play with the melody. Tory Lanez actually did this on his live a few times where he'll come up with songs, but he comes up with the melody first and just like literally says gibberish, but like we'll sing the melody and then he'll add words to the melody after the fact.
I feel like I don't know enough of that part of the creative process, but I feel like that's like also like you'll see the dog. That's what Kanye does too.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll have the hook like first, and then the rest is like a word. But yeah.
And I basically did that.
As that started becoming part of your creative process.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of always been. I always like the hook first because I feel like that's what draws people in and draws me into most songs. So if I don't like the hook or can't think of one, most of the time it's really hard for me to do it. And that was the case with Be Alright, Ignore Me, Highs and Lows. Like literally every single song I can think of so far, it was the hook first, and then everything else after. And sometimes it just happens perfectly. Like one of the songs that I recently wrote, like the hook just fell together in a matter of minutes, and I wasn't even like trying to do it. It just happened, and I was like super excited. But other times I'll sit there for 2 hours and I'm like, I can't think of shit, and I just scrap it.
Yeah,
and it's just gone forever.
Like even if that beat's fire, you're like,
even if the beat's fire, I'm like trying so hard to make it work, and I'm like, it's not. Yeah, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that's super insightful. Like, I mean, I feel like we've also had that, like, where we have like a topic, like, yo, this is gonna be the one that goes viral. It's like, yo, but I have nothing to add that hasn't been said. So like, what's the point of even talking about it? You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I feel that, bro. But yeah, dude, I love the song. I'm glad it's doing well. And then you said the next track is gonna be in April.
Yeah, and I think that's the one I'm most excited about this year. It's the first collaboration that I've ever done, actually.
Oh, this is the one with the artist in Chicago,
Rocky Fresh. Right? Yep. And he was one of my favorite rappers, like still is. And I just made it a goal of mine to at least do one collaboration this year. It just so happened he was available. So he's on that one. When I first heard the beat, I thought he would sound perfectly, go perfectly on that beat. And he ended up sounding amazing on it. So nice. Super excited about that. Turned out exactly how I wanted, have the visuals and everything. So now I get to focus on other stuff because all that's taken care of.
That's awesome, dude. That's exciting. But for everyone who hasn't checked it out yet, go check out Blair Anthony, fully loaded on every platform, and will be on both playlists by the end of the week.
Yes, sir.
All right, bro, let's get out of here. Great episode. Glad we're back in the flow of this hour and change. So it's almost like riding a bike. You know, after a while, it just makes sense. Like it's weird because like we've obviously done episodes the last 2 weeks, but like it's different when you can't just like kind of like just talk to your boy about shit. So
right, for real.
Glad we're back in the flow. But yeah, let people know where to find us, where to buy the merch. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, check us out at audio-theory.com. New episode every week. Also, if you're looking to be interviewed and you make music, feel free to submit your music to us. Typically we DM people back on Instagram, which is just at Audio Theory, so easy to find us. But otherwise, tune in. We have the merch up there on the website. We have the Spotify playlist, Apple Music playlist, the podcast links, everything on the website. So just head on over and please like and subscribe and share and do anything else you can to help spread the word.
Spread the word, bro. But again, great to be back in the saddle, bro. I'll see you next week. We'll talk soon. Love you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Love you too. Peace.